Well, as probably most of you can tell, I didn't practice any speeches before I got here. Honestly, I'm working on a project. It's 12 hours a day on site. I'm driving an hour to get there on either end and coming back. So not as polished as I would like to be when I'm presenting, but hopefully it's coming across because this is the real deal. As raw as it might get sometimes, or where I'm going with it, this is what you get. There is no other story. There is no other package. So why I'm up here, I want to share a story, and I shared it with a gentleman. Where are you now? Oh, can't find him in the room, sorry. So I shared a story about my grandpa Opus. So I talked on the site about my grandpa Getson coming out west from Prince Edward Island. Well, my grandpa Opus, he's an import from the States, so North Dakota. He came up here and settled and farmed out by Hattonford. And he shared a story with me. He didn't talk about the war much. He was cat skinner, and I was doing projects, and he just got a tickle of it when I was coming back from the diamond mine, or I was coming from a different site to see what was going on. And I asked him, how did you, what happened, Grandpa? Like, why did you stand up? He goes, well, I chose this country. This country was in a time of conflict. I was a young guy. It was the right thing to do. So he's getting ready to deploy to go over to Europe, and he gets this phone call. And this recruiter tracks him down to the States because they're entering the war at that point. And he's telling my grandpa, you gotta come back, you gotta enlist. And he goes, well, I can't. Oh no, you don't understand. Like, you're a US citizen, you gotta enlist, you gotta go fight in this war. He's like, I can't. And he starts threatening with a bunch of things, and he said, finally the guy ran out of steam. And Grandpa goes, I can't fight for 2 armies, I'm already going over. He said it was the end of the story. So, when we see our party and we see our province in need at this point, you're asking about why I'm volunteering and why in the heck I'm standing up here doing this in a different area? What kind of a grandson would I be? What kind of a man would I be if I didn't stand up and do my part? I'm not having to face down bullets. I'm gonna have to face down some opposition. I'm not gonna be the most popular guy in the room, but I'm gonna do a damn good job for you. I'm not gonna win every fight, and by the way, I'm not gonna fight all the time. I'm going to gain the objectives, see the problems, and overcome them. I'm gonna bring people to consensus, and I'm gonna support you. And hopefully you'll support me. And now I'm gonna do some audience participation, because you've had Lee and I appear on this hotspot. Okay, how many farmers are out in the room? Show of hands. Perfect. Acreage owners, industrial folks, oil patch, educators, first responders. Perfect. When I'm name dropping, you're the names I'm dropping. I don't have a bunch of sponsorship or anything else. My cousin, or my brother-in-law, John, he's a neat guy, really neat guy. He's sitting on a lease site one time, and he meets this new consultant that's coming up, and the consultant says to him, he says, I got this job because my grandpa was a consultant, and then my dad was a consultant, and now I'm a consultant. And John turns to him and goes, well, my dad's a doctor, my mom's a nurse, my sister's a dentist, and I got this one all by myself. That's what I'm up here for.